Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the Elliott Homestead. I am really trying to practice what I preach in today's video. So I have made up some sticky notes to practice my Italian. I'm going to stick them around the kitchen on some of these words that I really need to learn. I've been putting this off for too long. Today's going to be all about finishing that last 10%. It's really easy to be excited about things, and we've done plenty of that, and have ideas and even bring those ideas into fruition. It's a lot harder to follow through and finish that last little bit of a project. We have one that's just been nagging on us, but I want you to stick around. Just like last week, I'm going to be presenting an Italian phrase to hold my own feet to the fire so that I continue practicing. If you know what this phrase means or you learn what it means, tag me in the comments below, let me know, or put it over on the community page, because all this month we're giving away signed copies of our cookbook to those of you who enter. So hang on throughout the video, and you'll notice when I drop the phrase, it's not this. And we're gonna do some work together today. We're gonna do some work in the kitchen. We're gonna do some work outside on the new project, a new old project that we haven't shown you before. So make sure that you stick around, listen for that Italian phrase. And as always, we're gonna be cooking together a little bit as well. So there's gonna be a link below the video to that printable recipe, or you can just copy and paste it from the show notes as well. Since we're going to be focusing on sticking with things today, Italian is one of those big things for me, obviously. And this means going about it in a lot of different ways, speaking it, putting sticky notes around your kitchen, and of course, practicing on your Babbel app. And I'd like to thank them for sponsoring today's video.
Click the link below or scan the QR code to take Babbel's quiz and save up to 60% today. Babbel is the top language learning app in the world for a reason. They've built products that help connect people with others around the world through the transformational power of language. I've cultivated the habit of spending time with my Babbel app so that I can keep marching towards my goal. Their classes are taught by native speakers, which I find so helpful. I love not only dreaming of Italy and so many of the things that I love there, but also actively working towards that goal by practicing my Italian daily. Sto imparando l'italiano. E tu cosa stai imparando? Babbel makes it possible for me to practice my Italian anywhere, anytime, with a 20-day money-back guarantee. It's proven to help you start speaking a new language in just 3 weeks. Click the link below the video or scan that QR code to take Babbel's quiz and save up to 60% today.
Haven't used this one in a while.
Okay. So today's video, we got back on track last week. Today we need to finish some things that we need to stick with things.
Tie up some loose ends. Yeah, finish that last 10%.
Why is that so hard?
Here's why I think it's so hard. Because you get a project to the point where you can actually use it without it being totally done.
Yes.
And then you start using it, and it becomes very difficult to get it totally done.
Yes.
Because you're using it.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's take them out to the chicken house. There's 10% in there we need to finish, and we're doing it right now. Adesso.
Adesso.
Okay, let's go.
You get distracted on the way out
Well,
there.
look at the pretty sunflowers.
You just can't help it. This is why we can't finish the last 10%.
And look at the
You're always
yellow.
taking pictures of flowers.
Look at the yellow with the blue. Yellow and blue. I mean, it's just, yeah, I'm distracted. But I am really excited. Okay, I am really excited to show you guys this chicken house. And now let's go look at it. Okay, so we're maybe, 50 feet up from our kitchen door. This is where we originally built the chicken coop, but look at it now. Look at it. Look at this. Isn't it darling? I'll think of the paint name, the color. I'll dig it up and I'll make sure I put it in the show notes if you're curious. But this is the problem with the last 10%. You see this window right here? You can see the spray foam. You can see the siding exposed. It really drives me crazy. And especially as a photographer, this is the kind of stuff that really drives me crazy because I want it to be finished. And I haven't been able to take a good frontal shot of this because of that. So we've redone the patio. We've painted it. We've patched up all the shingles that were loose. We took off the door and stripped it and put it back on. We installed new windows.
We got electricity to it and put in all the lights. I mean, that 90% was so much work. It was so much work that it's a shame to not let it live its full potential, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, I agree. For sure.
Come inside. Okay, this used to be a chicken coop, and now it's our guest room and music studio. So I'm going to show them around, and are you just going to get to work?
I suppose so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is part of the last 10%, but maybe a little bit bigger than what we can chew off
Right.
today. So maybe today we focus on the 5% out here, and then we finish this last bit, which eventually will be a beautiful little storage closet for all your gear. You got a lot of it.
Yeah, I know. Like, the problem you have with plants is similar to the problem I have with music gear, but I would say yours is probably 90% worse than mine.
Zero. Absolutely untrue. Absolutely. I could fit all my plants in a quarter of this closet. Get out of here with that nonsense.
So while Stuart works on finishing stuff in the studio, is that what we're calling it? What are we calling it? This is something else that's on my list that absolutely cannot wait. This is the last 10% of this project, which is getting the storage onions and shallots and garlic into the root cellar. So they've been grown and harvested and cured and separated, which is what's behind me here. But if we don't finish that last 10% of actually taking them inside and putting them in the root cellar, they will not store. It's 103 degrees outside. They're not going to last. So this is proof that that last 10% really, really matters. It's the difference between doing that 90% or potentially ruining it just by not doing the last 10%. So this is my project to tackle while he's doing that. Hey, bud. I was wondering if you could help me with something. Remember how you and Will cut all the tops off the onions the other day and put them into the lugs? Well, the Easy Go is up at the barn, and I was hoping you guys could load the lugs into the back and we can get them in the root cellar.
Sure. Okay, let's go.
Okay, so we have shallots. We have Walla Wallas, fresh eating, or porciosas. These ones are the yellow ones for storage, and these are the purple ones for storage. And you okay? And this is the garlic for this year, which will be plenty for us. But these all need to be just rubbed clean, which just takes a second. But we'll cut these little bits off the root ends, and then all of a sudden you've got this really beautiful, clean garlic clove. Last 10%, baby.
I can't tell you how many times that last 10% has gotten the better of me. There have been years where I've actually left the onion harvest in the garden, and it was ruined by the sun. What a complete waste of time and energy. And in a way, I suppose this is good, because just like we talked about last week, it forces you to create better habits. It forces you to be a better version of yourself. Someone that can finish all the way and not leave things undone, and not maybe even leave things left unsaid. but someone who sees the value in taking it all the way to the finish line, completing the task, all the way, that last 10%. Sometimes I get to the end of the season and I think to myself, hey, why didn't you? And I don't want to have those thoughts this year. That doesn't mean I can do everything. It means I need to prioritize the things that I am doing. So part of finishing for me this summer looks like not letting a tomato go to waste. That means that I need to do the work of marking things off of my checklist so that I can make sure I meet those priorities that we've set as a family. For me, tomatoes are a very important piece of this in the summertime, not the least of which is my practically world-famous tomato jam, one of the most popular recipes I've ever shared in my cooking community, and I'm giving it to you here for free. Just check the show notes below the video for the printable PDF. This is something that we put up every year. This is a priority. It's tomatoes simmered down with vinegar and honey and spices. It's so good, like a grown-up ketchup, but dinery and somehow so much better. Oh my gosh, you have to try it. Knowing it's finished and in the pantry means a lot to me in knowing I finished the harvest well. Okay, trim is up and it needs to be cleaned up, patched just a little bit, and painted. So that's where I come in. And then, where did I stick them? I got just some really simple little hooks and some really simple little cafe rods to cover the windows because Stu has these really great little guitar holders, but he can't put the guitars up on the wall until we can kind of block out some of this direct sunlight. So the finishing work continues. Don't worry, that's just dirt. I'm gonna get it all cleaned up. And I brought myself some encouragement. And check these out, friends. These are a series of posters from Sicily that we're gonna be selling in the store. What do you think of these? There's actually 2 more that go along. I'll try to post a picture over in the community. Let me know what you think. Oh, hey.
Oh, bellissima. Il vino frizzante per me e mio amore, per favore. Ah,
That was amazing.
bravo.
That is not your Italian phrase, my friends. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay. Grazie. Not your Italian phrase.
What is the Italian phrase?
Here is your Italian phrase for this week. Okay? Gotta warm up before I do this. Okay. La settimana scorsa abbiamo fatto la passata di pomodoro. Questa settimana facciamo la marmellata di pomodoro. That was a long one. I'm gonna try it again. I can do it better. Okay, here we go. La settimana scorsa abbiamo fatto la passata di pomodoro. Questa settimana facciamo la marmellata di pomodori. I'm not sure. I can't tell you what it means, but if you know if it's pomodoro or pomodori when I'm referring to marmellata, let me know in the comments. All right, I know we set out to finish that last 10% today, but guess what? We didn't quite get there. I'm sure you saw that coming. Still, every time you crawl to that finish line, it has to mean something, right? You're one piece closer, one step closer. You have one thing less on your mind, taking up space and creating noise in your life. And perhaps most importantly, these are pieces that we want to enjoy. And when we finish them, we're actually able to taste the fruits of our labor. So while we may not have completely finished today, I feel good about our efforts and I feel good about the trajectory. And perhaps most importantly, I feel good that we're training ourselves to finish. Cheers.